Good morning, another road trip. I'm at Alexander Park near Ledbury. I've never been here before, never played it. It's a relatively new course, as you'll see by all of the young trees. I'm going to try and play safe where required and be as aggressive as I can elsewhere, and we'll see what happens to the score. First hole's only 281, so am I laying back or am I taking it on?
So, downhill, downwind, and a bit of width. I thought I'd hit driver, but I hadn't accounted for my normal first tee pull. Oh dear.
That looks a little tight.
Now, I've never been afraid of these shots. It's just like a long putt, and I can hit long putts straight. What I couldn't do was actually go at the green, so that has gone off the left side and off the back, and we are left with a chip and a putt. Wonder if that layup would have been a better choice.
The yellow mark of shame, and on that side too.
So the second is a long sweeping dogleg par 5, so naturally it's driver. And I was expecting the wind off the right now to give me a little push, but we've finished in the rough. Can't see the green from here, so let's do the sensible thing and just pop it over the corner with the 7-iron. Job done. So there's several ways of playing a par 5, and you don't have to go driver 3-wood every time. Now, I've been having some problems with my swing, so there are pulls, slices and thin shots in this. Quite a few thin shots. The thing you may notice about the greens is they fall off the front and they fall off the sides, and I found it very difficult to actually read the greens today. As you can see there, front right, the ball would have just run off. Third hole, I've been all the way over to the trees on the right to get a view of it. It's only short, and there's a big lake down there, and it doglegs left round the trees. So I've opted for 3 hybrid, and I'm very grateful that I did. I wouldn't have wanted to hit one more club down here because I almost ran out of space. We just got a nip over the corner of the lake. It kind of reminds me of Thailand quite a bit, this does. Hitting wedges over lakes, and we're just off the back, bit of a firm bounce. And we make an easy par. Thank goodness. There are 5 par 5s here, so I was expecting to at least get 5 pars out of them, but as you'll see as we go around, I simply don't. My game isn't good enough. So that's where I've come from, over the edge of the lake, and I think I've found the club championship pin position, all the way over there on the right. A long par 3. Now, I've been doing a lot of practice of mats. The trouble with mats is it encourages you to hit down, and I've popped it up and I've barely got that past halfway. It's not often I leave myself a full shot in on a par 3, but I have done. So Sam Wedge, this is right down the banner, but couldn't get it to stop by the hole. And I'm getting pushed now. Because of a 4-ball in front, I'm being pushed back into games behind me. So it's all a bit of a rush, which doesn't help the game. In fact, it's so much of a rush, I misread the signboard here. I misread it as 317. So I've opted for 3 wood, which is not going to be enough club for me to be able to see round the corner. It should have been driver up here. Now, believe it or not, I've actually got a window of opportunity over the tree in front of me. But I hit it dead straight into it. The green was way round to the right, and now we can actually see it. Now here's another one of those thinnish shots, and I missed the green. And of course, with the ground being incredibly hard, if you miss a green, it bounces and runs away an awful lot. And as I say, one of the features of Alexander Park here is sort of these little raised greens and runoffs. So if you're not landing into the middle of the green, your ball's going to run a long way away. On to number 6, the next par 3. I think it's playing 170 today, because all I've got here is a 5-iron and another bottom groove shot.
Thin and everything.
It's pin high, but it was an awful shot. Now there aren't many bunkers here. Doesn't really need them, with the way the greens are crowned and rejecting golf balls, especially if you miss a green.
Oh, cheeky.
You don't need a lot of bunkers.
Well, this is a good track, and I'm making an absolute mess of it. First time here, making some bad choices, some good choices, but some bad. I've just let a single through. I'm going to let him fight with the 4-ball in front, see if he can get through them. This is a course you have to learn. I reckon it'd take me 2 or 3 rounds before I could probably confidently come up here and say, I'm going to shoot my handicap today, or 1 or 2 under it. Not much more I can say. Lots of these immature trees, as you've seen, but there's no rough underneath them. So you can find your ball and you can play your ball. So you can have trees or you can have rough, but you can't have both. Let's see what the next hole has got in store for me.
Number 7 and a long par 4. Now there's a lot of room out to the right that you cannot see from my camera position. So I didn't have any fear about hitting driver down here, and for once I've actually hit a decent one. Now I can see the top of the flag even though the camera can't.
Hit the ball properly. Thin, thin, thin. Oh.
Number 8, the next par 5, a gentle turn to the left all the way down. And I've hit that like a 9-iron. I barely got it out there, 200 yards. Yeah, my swing is not very pretty at the moment. So just a 3 hybrid down to the corner, and I've pulled that. Honestly, this is very frustrating. I can see the right half of this green, but not the left, and the flag is on the left over the top of the trees. You can see how dense all of these immature trees are. I would recommend that at some point in the future that they get thinned out a bit. Make life a little bit easier for the golfer. Awkward chip, didn't really know where to land that. And yet another bogey. On to number 9, shortest par 4, but it's up the hill. And this is quite a long and angry tee shot.
Do you want to go up as well? Save waiting down here.
Well, the football has just come off and they've gone back to the clubhouse. I'm letting these two lads through, so I just put down towards the hole and then pick up, and then all three of us can move on.
Right, that's 9 done. I think I'm about 6 over, which is pretty miserable, but understandable when playing a course for the first time and things aren't very obvious to you. The blockage has just left the 9th green for the clubhouse, so perhaps if I play the back 9 at my normal speed, it might be a shade better. Wish me luck.
So into the back 9 and number 10, a longish par 4. It's downhill and there's a lot more space than the camera shows, so driving is no problem. And then the second shot into the green is into a sort of island between lakes.
On that back.
And a causeway in front. Now, water doesn't tend to bother me anymore because I've played so much golf in Thailand, and hitting into island greens like this doesn't seem to faze me anymore. And that's the view of the green and the causeway, and that's my 7-iron. And that was my miss. On to 11, a shortish par 4. Again, there's water all the way down the left-hand side. As I say, water doesn't bother me anymore. I've played so many rounds on golf courses with water on both sides, or island greens and ponds and lakes that you got to lay up short of or get over, that I don't even see it anymore. Or it certainly doesn't make me panic like it would have done 15 years ago. And another par. Perhaps we're going to have a better back 9. Par 3. I think it's playing 166 today. The tee's a little forward. I've only got a 6-iron. I do remember water all the way down the left, but again, it just doesn't exist for me. And of course, ditch and out of bounds running all the way down the right. But I shut the face on that 6-iron, so it's gone long, it's gone left. And that's a pretty poor putt. Another short par 4, but I'm past caring about my score. So driver it is. I'll tell you one thing this spring, with it ground being spring and summer, with the ground being so hard, I've hit so few pitches in the air. It's all been along the ground. And my lack of practice certainly shows. I'm hitting them 10 yards short or 10 yards past, so I think I know what I'm going to have to practice in the future to get onto the short game area and hit some 40 and 50 yarders. Right, a long par 5, and this requires a fade off the tee. And there's a big honking pull into the 16th fairway and across the other side. And I've got a big lake to get over, so I couldn't laser through the trees, so I've opted for the 4 hybrid. I've missed the lake, but I've knocked it into the ditch on the other side. Penalty drop, 2 clubs sideways. Chip and run with a 3 hybrid. And look, there's the green finally. Sad thing is I've already had 1, 2, 3, 4 shots and 5 to get on the green. Yeah, completely hacked my way down this hole. Another case of the slopes that run off these greens completely fooling me. I mean, how do you get a putt that badly wrong? But as I say, they're all sort of upturned saucers, so they are difficult to putt from the edges to the middle. If you're in the middle, you're fine. Oh, I saved myself a shot. I thought I was going for the snowman. Just a wedge, 110 over the lake. This is a nice hole, actually. This is very good short par 3. I do like good short par 3s. Well, 16 and 17, they are both dead straight par 5s over 500 yards. So one back into the wind and one down the wind. You'll see how trees have now given way to long wavy grass. So there's a bit more elbow room for your driver. That shot tracer was slightly wrong. And this 3-wood back into the breeze barely goes 200. And we're going into yet another raised green. I really wish golf courses wouldn't do raised greens, because the trouble with raising a green above the natural water table is they dry out and go firm. My pitch mark was pin high. Glad to get a par. Yeah, I don't quite understand raised greens, because it does mean that they require an awful lot of water. There's a golf course out near Stow-on-the-Wold where many of the greens are raised 5 or 6 feet above the natural landscape, and they were always rock hard because you cannot keep water in a green that is above the water table. Anyhow, I've spotted the long grass, so this is just a 3 hybrid just to keep short of that long grass, which is a good idea since I pulled it again. And a little gap wedge up onto the green, no difficulty there. And there's a little step in it between the front and the back, so I've got to come up that without overhitting it. That's one mistake a lot of people make when you're coming up a slope, is to overhit it and then you've got a downhiller for your par.
Right, time to say goodbye. Now I feel like I've had an awful lot more elbow room round the back here, and it is a long course, so I've been using driver a lot, and because I've had the space to use driver. Now I don't know if you've noticed, but the greens are kind of like upturned saucers. So round the sides and the front and the back they shed away, which means the playing area is quite small. Scores are obviously better because of a number of reasons, but number one reason is perhaps because it's been 40 minutes shorter. Short par 4 to finish. Cheerio. Oh, say it again, this is a golf course that I'm going to have to learn to do my best on. Ta-ra.